Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the tank review for the brand new Western Alliance Era 1 Premium Heavy Tank, the 120mm Gun Tank T57, or the Cold War T57 Heavy. If you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the 120mm Gun Tank T57. It's a Cold War T57 Heavy. It is the new Regiment reward vehicle, which is for 30,000 Regi coins that you can pick up in the store. If we show that, you can go to the store, go to Regiments, and there it is, along with all of these shiny new camos and frozen googly eyes. But yeah, so it's 30,000 Regi coins, as normal for the Regiment reward vehicle, and it's a first for the Regiment store because naturally it is a Cold War vehicle, which is the first Cold War Regiment reward vehicle. It makes good silver. It's a fairly well-balanced tank. It's not exceptional, but it's not bad. It puts out damage decently quick when you get firing. It's a very derpy gun. It's pretty slow. The armor can be a bit of a pain as well. But before you know it, the damage does rack up if you put yourself in the correct place, because that's what this tank is all about, is about your positioning. If you put yourself in a bad place, you're going to die pretty quickly, because, yeah, you're not the fastest. Obviously, you've got a decently long reload for Era 1, but if you put yourself in the correct place, you can just keep dishing out damage, just like other autoloaders, and you can dish out with that 1350 clip potential that this vehicle has. And generally, I've got on pretty well with this. Like I say, I think it's pretty well balanced. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. It's just one of those vehicles. So with the T57, like I say, you do get it in the store for 30,000 coins. The other thing that they've added, I'm just going to note it since we're doing this about the regiments, right, is that you've got the regiment flag. You've got your regiment flag that you can create, or your regiment symbol, or whatever. And with this update, you can now... And it's maybe not the best thing for Cold War, but for World War II, you can go there, just click on that slot there, and that will put your regiment's flag in. As you can see, it's Stephen on a nice destroyed flag. But yeah, that's what you can do now to also add your regiment flag into your battles. So that's a new feature that they've also added to this update. But I digress. The T57, let's get into the statistics of the vehicle. So as you can see, you've got a 38.4 km/h top speed, 15 km/h reverse speed, 810 horsepower engine, is 14.89 horsepower per ton ratio, which means that it's fairly sluggish generally. It's not the fastest heavy tank in the universe, and it will get up to the top speed, but you just feel sluggish compared to a lot of the other vehicles in Era 1 because naturally they are quite quick. But still, it's a different type of playstyle because it's not like the Thrungva, for example. The Thrungva is, well, the Thrungva's pretty overpowered, and statistically, it's one of the most overpowered tanks in Era 1. And this vehicle is not that. It doesn't have the speed, it doesn't really have the armor, but it does have the damage output, which can be decent for it, like I say. But bear in mind that it is fairly decent, which is why it's all about your positioning, because it's in the very mediocre range for its mobility. Ground resistances don't really hold the tank back, though. They're just like in all eras, ground resistance just doesn't feel that bad no matter what. 20% internal fire chances on the high end of fire chances. I haven't really been set on fire yet though. Jinxed it. Absolutely jinxed. I know I've just jinxed it, but I haven't really been set on fire yet, which is nice. 36 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed. It means this vehicle does turn okay. Again, not slow, but not fast. 425 meters of view range is decent for Era 1. It's not incredible, but it's not bad. Again, you'll get up to a decent level, and then there's true vision added into that. 34 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed is slightly slower than the tracks, but you can get that up to a good level if you run rapid aim or etc, etc. You've got 2.23 accuracy during rotation with a 2.79 accuracy during movement, which is not good. Not good at all. As a pair, it's terrible. And that means the aim circle does bloom out massively. And you've got a 2.3 second aim time as well, which means you do feel the aim time a fair bit in this tank. You've got 0.36 accuracy at 100 meters, which is getting onto the derpier end of accuracy. And the way accuracy seems to feel in Cold War is it's even worse than it would be in in World War II. The accuracy on this tank feels so wonky, but then the general accuracy on most vehicles in Cold War, Era 1, 2, 3, feels wonky for the statistics that they have. It just doesn't feel like it matches up a lot of the time. And yeah, this tank is no different. You'll see that in the replays. It is a very, very derpy gun, which can be frustrating. You've got 8 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty flexible. Just like the World War II T57, it does do ridgelines pretty well. So you've got a 34-second reload for this clip, so it does, again, it takes a wee while. It's about 31 seconds once you've got it fully kitted out. I think it's 31 seconds anyway, if you boost with food and stuff like that. So it does take a wee while to get the shots in. You have 3 shots in the clip with a 2.2 second intra-clip reload. So it takes you 4.4 seconds from firing the first shot to dish out this 1350 clip. And you've got 278 penetration on the standard AP, 340 penetration on the premium heat rounds, and 60mm penetration on the HE for 580 alpha, 450 on the others as well. So yeah, the 450 alpha is quite nice. This gun is the same as it is on the M103 in that regard. The penetration's great, goes through pretty much everything if you hit them, and 340 then butchers everything else. You got 1,067 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP, which is above average, which is decent, but it's only slightly above average, meaning you do have to give a decent amount of lead distance to be able to hit your targets. And the heat rounds is 1,143 meters a second shell velocity, which is actually faster than the AP, which is quite weird. But yeah, that's decent velocity. It's not great, but it's not bad. And 762 on the HE, so if you do take a HE clip, bear in mind that your HE is a hell of a lot slower than the AP or the heat rounds. And as it is a premium tank, you do have a 160% silver bonus, which makes it a very nice silver earner indeed, especially since you don't really need to fire that many premium rounds, because the standard pen at 278 goes through pretty much every tank in the era. And the only real tank that you'll struggle with is an IS-4M, which still with 278, you still don't really struggle that much with that. And if you do, you can just load the 340 heat pen and then butcher that tank too. But there we go. So that's where the modules sit in the vehicle. That's where the engine block is. There's just the one engine block. So if you get shot in this back end, that's where you're more likely to get set on fire or have your engine damaged. That's where the ammo racks are. As you can see, they are very big. Very big on this tank, which means if you get shot through the drive wheel that side, you can get your ammo rack damaged. Shot through the drive wheel that side, you can get your ammo rack damaged as well. If you get shot in the turret like that, that's where you can also get your ammo rack damaged. Haven't had it damaged that much yet, but I'm jinxing it yet again. But I have had it once or twice. So yeah, it's a big ammo rack indeed for this vehicle, and that's where the crew sits in the 120mm Gun Tank T57. In terms of the armour, like I said, the armour's not very good for Era 1. It basically will get butchered, and that is if they shoot you in the turret cheeks here, very easy penetrations. The turret can get you some nice ricochets if they just try and shoot you here or here, because angles are still a thing, and angles will bounce you quite a bit. But if they hit the turret cheeks in these sections here or here, you're going to get penned really easily. Through the lower plate, absolutely very easily as well. And the upper plate, if you angle it down slightly, will go through with a lot of the penetration, especially if you're firing your own penetration at it, right? Which can be a pain. I'm kind of sad that this vehicle doesn't quite have the same hull as the M103 has in this era, but hey-ho. That's the way the armour is. It's basically a glass cannon. In the way it is, it's quite funny for a heavy tank. It's a glass cannon autoloader. You're basically going to poke out, dish out the damage, expect to take a hit. If you bounce something, you go, oh, that was quite nice. But generally, you're going to be penned most of the time with this vehicle. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment? Well, I've stuck the crew in the Centennial, so let's get it out of there. Vic, Mr. Vic Rattlehead, please get back into your tank. And I run Born Leader, Run and Gun, Snapshot, Track Mechanic, Expert Gunner, Clutch Braking, Armour Angling, Fire Safety Training, and Pain Tolerance. Pain Tolerance decreased the chance of getting a crew injury because I run the patch kit, and then I run a spore liner alongside it, so we're reducing the amount of damage, the amount of chance that the crew is going to get killed by 70%. That's why we're doing that, so that we can run the patch kit, because the patch kit is very handy, and it can run in line with your reload quite often as well, which could be good. Fire safety training, possibly why I've not really been set on fire in this vehicle, to decrease the chance of getting set on fire by 33%, as well as decreasing the timer on fire by 10%. Armour angling to reduce the amount of damage coming to the tank, because again, we are going to be getting pens, so it's nice to be able to do that. Clutch braking to increase the track traverse, because the track traverse is a little bit slow. I did end up switching out the rapid aim for pain tolerance. So I did run rapid aim originally, but then I switched out for pain tolerance, and so we have the reduced chance of losing our crew. Expert Gunner for the 6% increased chance to damage enemy vehicles, as again, we're putting 3 rounds in pretty quickly. If we can damage an ammo rack and then hit it instantly straight after, there's a high chance we could blow someone's lid. That's something that'd be quite nice to do in this T57. Both gun perks in Run and Gun and Snapshot, because naturally, again, this tank's gun is derpy. We want to help it out as much as humanly possible. And these two, because we do get stuck in at times, and it's nice to get the tracks back on faster so we're not perma-tracked. And Born Leader makes everything better. But again, there's plenty of different ways you could run this. You could definitely run the rapid aim if you wanted to make the turret traverse faster. You could run supply conservation because of the patch kit, which is a potential, to be honest. You could run the supply conservation instead of something. Not sure what you could drop armour angling possibly for the supply conservation, just in the lieu of the thinking that you reduce the amount of damage coming to the tank by 5% with armour angling. but then also think, you know what, I could drop armor angling and run supply conservation instead. The reason for that is that while I'm not reducing the damage coming into tank by 5% anymore, I'm getting my patch kit back 15% faster, which then means I get that HP back anyway. So you could run it in that sort of theory as well. But again, down to you and how you want to play this vehicle and how you're going to get the best out of it. Because like I say, I do run the patch kit because it's very, very handy to be able to get your health back at times, and it's a very, very strong consumable now in this day and age. The enhanced rations, because getting everything better with food at times, especially getting the reload down a bit more, is nice to have when you use the active boost. With this, we run vents, which is very interchangeable. Gun stabilizer, to be able to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as humanly possible. The turbocharger to have that extra oomph in the engine, as well as the extra speed, so we feel a little bit more maneuverable. And spore liner. Now, I'm running spore liner purely because I'm running a patch kit, and crew survival rate is increased by 50%. Add in pain tolerance, 20%. Effectively, 70% more chance that the crew is not going to die. That's why we're doing it. You could drop vents because the aim time is a bit... Well, you feel the aim time and it's a bit long. You could definitely drop vents for the gun laying drive to have better aim time. But I run the vents to just get that little bit extra out of everything, especially the reload and the accuracy. That's how I want it. I just want it for the maximising. But again, you could definitely run the gun lane drive instead to be able to get the better aim time. You could run the armour hardening if you're running that in conjunction with the armour angling, right? There's plenty of different ways to kit out this vehicle. It's really down to you and how you want to set it up for how you're going to get the best out of it. That's just how I get the best out of it in the end. I mean, when I first played this tank, I did play it for one game, which is the first game I ever played in it, and you're going to see that replay as well because it was a good time. And I didn't run the spore liner. I actually ran the GLD instead, and then I didn't run a patch kit. I ran med kit instead. So you will see that, and instead of pain tolerance, it had rapid aim. There were slight differences in that crew for that first replay, which, well, I say first replay. The first game I played in this tank is probably one of the better replays, one of the better games I've had in the tank, so you'll see that at the end. But you'll see what it's like with having a GLD instead for the aim time. So in terms of the stats for the vehicle now, we've now got a 40.32 km/h top speed, a 15.75 km/h reverse speed, 850 horsepower engine, which is 15.64 horsepower per ton ratio. So we have helped the horsepower per ton ratio a fair bit. We've helped the top speed. We generally get there. It just feels a little bit sluggish at times compared to some of the vehicles in Era 1. 12.41% internal fire chance is... We've lowered it quite a lot with that fire safety training, which is exactly why I feel like I'm not really getting set on fire that often in it. 39.11 degree a second on the hull rotation speed is faster than it was, and again, it does turn decently on its tracks now. We've got it set up like that. Ground resistances have got a little bit better. 452 metres of view range, again, good enough to spot for ourselves in this vehicle. 36.19 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed means that your turret does turn slower than your tracks, but it's still not the slowest in the universe. You got a 1.6 accuracy during rotation with a 1.96 accuracy during movement, which again is not that great, and the aim circle still blooms out a fair bit, but it's a lot better than it was, which is okay. But at the same time, it's still not great, and the aim circle does bloom out a fair bit. But you got a 2.16 second aim time now, which is a lot better than it was, and again, it means the aim circle shrinks pretty quickly. If we were to run the GLD instead of the spore liner, just for sake of having a look and seeing what it does, 2.16 goes down to 1.94 second aim time. So a GLD is definitely very, very worthwhile. But again, it'd annoy me if I took the patch kit and then had someone die on me, so that's why I run the spore liner. But yeah, 2.16 second aim time now. We've got 32 second reload on the clip, and again, it gets down to about 31 seconds when you boost with food. So you wait till it hits 30 seconds and then press food boost, and then you'll get that little bit extra eked out of the reload with the food, which is why we run it. And then everything else gets that generally a bit better about it as well. But yeah, that's the 120mm Gun Tank T57, which, like I say, it's not exceptional. There's nothing to shout about in this vehicle. But a free Era 1 premium tank, which will make you quite a good bit of silver, and the fact that it's fairly balanced is quite nice. It's nice that they've not built something that's absolutely insane. You can do well with it, but if you don't put yourself in the right place, you will struggle. It's one of those. And the gun is frustrating. I'm never going to sugarcoat that. The gun is really annoying, but yeah, generally it's a fairly well-balanced vehicle. So what I'm going to do now is send you into the replays where you can watch this tank in action, see how it handles, and just see if it's a bit of you or not. So as always, everybody, I'll see you in the replays. Here we are in the replays with the T57, and this first game we're here on this map, which is Death Valley. Yep, tell you. I remember my map names. Do I really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, we're on Death Valley, and so on Death Valley, we're going to go towards the position at HJ8, because from there we can get up on top of the hill, we can shoot across the big, wide valley, which is quite nice for any vehicle, because you can use True Vision in Era 1, naturally, and then be able to see the people that do sit around the back edges. You've obviously got to have a bit of support, though, because if you don't have too much support, you can get caught out and isolated pretty quickly. But, yeah, you've just got to watch the map and have that bit of map awareness. And again, that's where this tank is one of those that you've really got to know what you're doing, because again, you've got to be positioning yourself correctly, because if you don't position yourself correctly, it's going to go wrong pretty quickly. So we did play most of the games for this, by the way, on stream. So if you want to go check out the live gameplay with this, because we did have quite a few really nice games in this tank. Not all of them have made it in. We also had one that was a really good game that didn't make it in because I forgot to record it because I'm a moron, alright, but it is what it is. So go check out the stream, because we did end up playing this tank quite a bit, same as we played the CS53, 56 a fair bit as well, and you can go check out the live gameplay for that. But yeah, so here on Death Valley, you can see the accuracy of the gun a bit. I mean, that was at distance, so we're going to hit some of those shots, probably not, but the gun is very derpy. It just likes missing, and I don't know what it is about Era 1 accuracy at times. I've said it for years, I've said it since Era 1 came in. That was at big range, fair enough. But at close range even, this gun likes shots deviating left, right and centre, but it's got what is it when you got it fully kitted out? It's got 0.34 accuracy at 100 metres when you got it fully kitted out, which isn't that derpy. But yeah, even at close range, the gun can still be a royal pain. And I sit there going, you should be more accurate than that at this close range, for what you're telling me, but hey, that's Era 1. So, we come around the corner, we've got the full clip loaded, we've taken a hit from the T95E3, and we managed to get 3 shots there into all of, well, we've got all the shots there, 2 into the T95E3, and 1 into the Turan 4. Well, now we've got some support. We have TDs at the back who will shoot these guys if they drive around the corner, as you've seen someone else just get hit. So I think, okay, I've lost hit points. I'm just going to use the patch kit while I sit here, get some hit points back. If they want to drive around and shoot me and null and void my patch kit, because remember, if you get shot, your patch kit stops working, they're going to have to pay for it. They're going to lose their hit points. So as you can see, I've got 14 seconds left. Most of the time, if you use this patch kit the moment you start reloading, you're going to get the full benefit rather than losing some of the benefit of it while you're moving. Gun handling. Say, the gun handling just is not good on this vehicle, and it likes hitting the floor at times. You sit there going, why? At that close range on the back chat there, it was fully aimed, but it still hit the floor. That's what I'm talking about with the gun handling. 0.34 accuracy in World War II wouldn't really do that often. It happens all the time in the T57, but I'm going to stop batting on about that anyway. But yeah, the gun handling is derpy. Be careful of it. We're at 2.4k damage, 1600 assistance damage. Now we're in the position where their team is starting to fall. We need to try and get in to try and get a bit of damage out of this before my team collapse and kill them all, because yeah, we're not that quick of a tank. So again, we need to try and keep it up with the fight and try and get ahead of it. Sometimes the games will go a bit too fast and you won't be able to keep up because you don't really have the speed. But sometimes you will have the opportunities to be able to just keep sitting and firing non-stop, which is the way that this vehicle wants to be. It wants to be in that sort of position where you're near to the fight, because again, the gun is a bit derpy, and distance really doesn't do this tank very well. But where you're fairly near to the fight, but you can have the position where you can keep pulling back, drop a clip, pull back, get the reload in, and then pull forward again and do the same. And when you're in that position where you can do that, and similar to what we were in at the start of this game, where I can pull back, get behind the rock, pop the patch kit, get my hit points back for the hit that I've taken, and then pull forward again and start dishing out damage. That's where this thing, it's the opportunist. It's the damage opportunist. That's what the T57 Heavy is, or the 120mm gun tank T57. It's the opportunist. The opportunist? I've made a new word. It's a great word. Opportunist. So yeah, it's an opportunist. It takes that moment where someone drives into the open, you go, hello friend, I'm here to take your life, and that's what you do. So that's what we've tried to do in this game. This game is a fairly average game that we've had in the T57 as well. We're up to 3.9k damage, 1600 assistance. We missed that shot because, well, just bad aim, really. That wasn't really the tank as much as that was just my bad aim. But we're trying to find the shot now into the NM116. We go for the patch kit to get some more HP for the lols, look for the shot into the turret, and thankfully the shot goes true this time, and we hit the NM116 in the side for the 4.2k damage. And we finish with the epic victory, 4 kills, 4.2k damage. 141,000 silver, that's no silver boost, which is decent. 1,603 assistance damage with the 4 kills, 1,396 base XP. Decent game there for the T57 Heavy in Era 1 in Cold War. And again, that's just a fairly average game for the vehicle. If you can squeeze out 2, 3, 4 clips, before you realise it, like I say, your damage has gone up quite a bit. So we're on to the second replay here, and the second replay we're on this map, which is Chow Bang. And on Chow Bang, what I want to do is go towards, or what I was thinking of doing was going towards a position at H4, where I can go hold down, try and find people, drop a clip, pull back, that sort of thing. But what's going to happen is we're going to get spotted and caught out before we even get any chance of getting anywhere over there, and that's because they've, well, where they spawn, naturally, plus YOLO, swaggings, light tanks, you know, all that sort of stuff. So what I actually... You can see, the moment we get detected, I'm like, nope, I don't want to take that 4005 hit, thank you very much. So I'm just trying to look and see if I can find what actually saw us, and I can't see anything currently. And there it is, it's the FV107, it found us really quickly, and that meant things were looking at us. So you know what, instead, we're just going to come into this town area and see what we can do. So we try and take the shots early on at Mr. T44, we absolutely fail. We can just see a tank as it pulls back, so we can't find a shot at that guy. Go for the lower plate shot there on the IS-4M, and we don't hit it. Now, the first shot was rushed, so we didn't hit it. The second shot was also fairly rushed, but it was still, at that point, fairly well aimed at the T44, and it still missed. And we were never going to hit that shot into the IS-4M. Realistically, that was never, ever going to go in. So the first clip is an absolute bust, which is a sad time for us in our T57. But we're nearly loaded, so I want to try and find some more shots. If we can take an opportunity to get more shots, that'd be great. There we see the Charioteer, the outline, the new... Oh, okay, we missed. Oh, it's because we got knocked. Yeah, we put one shot into the side of the Charioteer's turret, and the second one goes in as well. Good times. So we're going to get ourselves safe, and when we get ourselves properly safe, hopefully we'll pop the patch kit so we can get some more hit points. There we go. This is why we run the patch kit, because it's going to stop a couple of seconds after we've reloaded, which is great. We can get all the full maximum hit points. We're in a perfectly safe location. It's why we run it. But yeah, you saw with the gun handling there, the gun handling can still be good if you get it fully aimed, but we got knocked in the side there by the M51, and that meant that, yeah, the shot went to the moon. But I think you saw the dispersion values being a bit of a pain, realistically, for the T57 then as well, because we got knocked, we got moved ever so slightly, but the aim circle went balloon! And that's, yeah, that's the way it is. So we see the shots into the side of the Centurion 5-1, we go for it, it goes high. Aim up the shot this time, go for the turret shot, it goes high. We go for the side shot there, and that one finally hits. And again, that's the accuracy. This is the reason I chose this replay, because you're going to see a lot where the damage, if you put yourself in the right position, the damage can rack up. But the gun handling is a real troll. Real troll. And I'm never going to sugarcoat how bad the gun handling can be on this vehicle. And that's why I like this replay, because while we still have a nice game, and you can see the potential that you can get out of it, it also is a royal troll, and you think possibility of how much I could have actually done if some of the shots had actually hit. Yeah. So we're going to go round on the T44A. Hello, Mr. T44A. Get the shot in RBRT. Go for the next shot. Set him on fire. Not quite enough to tick him down to a position where we can one-shot him. So we go for the ram. 117 with the slightest of touches, you say? Well, okay, then let's keep love tapping. Oh, 3 hit points. Oh, well, don't mind if I just finish you off, T44A. The slowest death that you could have had there. We're up to 2.9k damage, 266 assistance. We can see the T95E3 in the distance attacking our medium. I'm trying to get myself in a position where I can get shots at the T95E3 while also not getting shot myself. Getting the gun fully aimed. We fire it up. Track damage only. Great. That means we can keep him pinned. Really? That 271 penetration. Ricocheted. What's the penetration at 500 meters? 263. That ricocheted off his upper plate. Okay then, game. Sure. Fine. You do you. But we sadly ended up ricocheting the shot in the T95E3, which means out of 3 shells at that dude, we only penned 1. But he did end up getting shut down, so that's fine. So the patch kit's back, which is good, but we're nearly loaded, looking for the shots into this E3. Get 1 in, can we get 2 in? Yes, we can, but I don't think we're going to be able to squeeze in the third. Yes, as he does end up getting himself safe. We've now got a light tank putting some shots into us, and there it is. We end up spotting it in the end, the FV107, and I'm just going to get myself safe. But my driving is, well, I have terrible driving. You know this, I know this. My driving is rather dreadful in this game, and so we crashed into a building. But thankfully, we didn't take any more hit point losses, and this is where, again, my patch kit's back. I decide, okay, that clip was terrible. I'm just going to post up here, get my patch kit working, get as much HP back as possible, and then just survey the situation, decide what I'm going to do. So we've got the 4005 in front of us that's pretty healthy. They've got a heavy tank, a medium tank, they've got 2 medium tanks spotted, one at E4, one at G4, and then the heavy tank and the other dude as well at F4, F3, I should say, really. So once the patch kit run out and we've got as much hit points back out of that as possible, we're nearly back up towards the 2k mark again, which is why you do it. We try and snap the shot into the IS-4M, but, well, yeah, it went pretty high. Because, again, if you do not let this gun aim in, it will miss. Oh, don't do that. No. Don't do that. That could have been, knowing the physics in Cold War, that could have been death. Oh, the shot misses on the side of the T95 E3 as well. Like, yeah, that's what I mean about this gun. It's a very, very troll gun. Is this? I mean, I've got the M103A1 on my free-to-play account, right? Because I unlocked that, but it's in top era 1. It's pretty quick to unlock these days. So I've got that on the free-to-play account, but I never really played it, or I haven't played the free-to-play account that much since I unlocked it. Is the gun as derpy on the M103A1? Because it's the same gun. Is it as derpy? For those that have played it, is it as derpy as this gun is? Because it's the same gun. Obviously statistically different in terms of accuracy and draw, rotation and movement and stuff because it's a different tank. But it's the same gun. Is it as derpy? Food for thought. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, So, yeah, we're going to go after the last 2 tanks live. Mr. Light Tank is shooting. How dare that light tank? That pesky... He tracks us as well. That pesky little light tank, we know exactly where he is. We know the medium tank's on the cap, but we see where he's firing from. So then we're going to take the opportunity. Fire 1 in. Can we get a second one in? We do. He unfortunately gets back in time, though, to not take the 3rd shell and gets himself safe. The medium tank, which was the STB-1, gets shut down by the 4005. And that means there's just 1 tank left alive. It's Mr. Light Tank, the pesky little FV107. So we're going to go hunt the FV107, see if we can find him. Because, again, he was up there where he's popped smoke. So there's only 2 ways that I can think he could have gone. He could have either run off up north and gone along the 8-9 line, or he's run round the back of 9 line and then up the H line that way. He's going to do that, I should say, to try and reset the cap as we are capping. So I decided to go up the top path because I think, well, maybe he's just hiding around the corner as well. That's also a valid possibility. So we're just going to go up, see if we can see him over the top of the ridge. I can't see any movement because naturally we're always watching for movement with true vision because that's what you want to do when you're coming over these sorts of ridges. And there we go, he gets spotted. If we'd gone down the lower path, we'd have come across that FV107 and got ourselves a kill. But we crash into a rock because, again, my driving is terrible, and I decide, no, this is it. This is my life now. I'm going to just say, hi, rock, we are now friends. I'm going to pop my patch kit to get as much HP back as possible for the lols, and just accept that this rock is my friend. I'm going to be like Patrick Star and live under my rock. And that's the end of the game, because the FE-107 gets shut down by the SG-122-54. But we finished the game with the victory. 1 kill, 6,300 damage, 1458 base XP. Pretty good game again for the 120mm Gun Tank T57. 175,000 silver made, yet again no boosters. 2nd class high caliber, the Confederate medal. Decent game for the T57, but again, that game had potential for a lot more damage. Like a lot more damage. But you saw with the gun just how troll that gun is, and it can be a right hindrance to getting those nice games. Like I say, I've done 7k quite a few times in it now at this point. I've done 8k once as well. 8.1k I think it was the game that I didn't record, which we did live on stream. Yeah, I think it was 8.1k anyway. We've done high damage numbers quite a few times in this tank at this point. Which is why I say it's fairly balanced, because getting those higher damage games wasn't that difficult realistically. You can still do it. It's just you've got the drawbacks that makes you well, it just means that you have to think about where you're putting yourself. You have to think about the positions you're taking, how much you're aiming your gun, and making sure that you are going to try and hit the shots. You can't just sort of YOLO into a position and then get away with it because tank, right? That's what the Thrungva can do. The Thrungva can do that so well because the reload on the clip is actually not that bad. And then the mobility of it is insane. And then you've got armor to boot with 12 degrees of gun depression, which means you can just YOLO into situations, drop a clip, and then go, okay, this is a bad situation, bye, and then run away. And that's what makes the Thrungva so ridiculous, and why it's the highest win rate tank and the highest damage output tank in Era 1, because it does that. But the T57, you have to be more calm and considered. You have to think about the position you're putting yourself in. You have to make sure that you're thinking about where your next clip is going to go and position yourself to be able to get it. Mr. T34, are we okay? I don't think this guy's okay, as we end up... He just gets shut down by the TVP 50/51 there. We're up to 1370 damage. We've got two shells left. Spot the Sharp 25T. Get one in. Can we get the second one in? There we go. Straight in. We're up to that 2,200 damage now, which is a decent total so far. We're only, we're less than 2 minutes into the game. We're already up to a decent total. So, we're going to move up to the next ridge line. Again, their team are wrapping up the 9-0 line and probably going to try and come in along the B line as well. They're going to make a B line for our cap. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That's facepalm. But anyway... So now we're nearly loaded. I want to try and see if I can see anyone in towards their little spawn hill, because that's where people do like to sit. We can just... I thought I saw movement in the smoke, but it's actually the dead wreck there. And there we go. We make acquisition our target. Centurion 5-1. One in, two goes in. Can we get a third in? A third one bounces, and then we get ourselves back down into cover and safe as well. We boost our reload with food, because every single time that you can do that, that's what you want to do, to naturally get that extra couple of seconds out of the reload. It's what you want to do with autoloaders. Because that's the thing, I suppose. Not many people who maybe have only played Era 1, 2, 3 have that much experience with this kind of autoloader. You want to be boosting with food. Always wait for it to hit the 30-second mark and then press food boost, and then you'll get that extra couple of seconds out of the reload, and that way, again, you're maximising the reload you get out of it. So the T95E3 gets spotted out in the open. We take the opportunity to drop the clip. I decide, okay, you know what, I'm just going to use the patch kit. It's a bit of a waste, true, but I'm going to use the patch kit and just get full HP again, because why not? While I reload, I may as well, because like you see, the patch kit is going to run out before we reload anyway. And we hit max HP, so naturally it ran out anyway. We're up to 4.2k damage. They've still got 11 tanks left, so we're still not doing too great. I just need to wait for my gun to reload, and then we can try and find some more shots into their team, which we really need to do. We really need to start getting guns out of this game, because, yeah, they are currently winning. And in HP terms, we're winning. But they've still got the numbers, and guns in game still makes a lot of difference, because they can obviously take you out. So the FV107 gets shut down by an M48A5, which is the other guy at the other end. Oh, I should have aimed it. We tried to snap the shot at the Char 40T there, but it just went nowhere near. Again, that's where you need to aim it. We get one shot into the side of the M103, and then the other one hit the lower plate and bounced. That's because it hit it at an extreme angle. Really, it was a poor shot, if we're honest. And now I'm looking at the Char 40T going, I wish I hadn't taken that shot. And I'm watching him going, he's out in the open. Somebody kill him. I'm like, Mr. TVP, you can get him. Someone please kill that Char, because if I'm going to attack the dudes along the K line and the heavy tank, I feel like I'm going to get shot in the butt by a Char 40T, and I don't really want that. But now we're fully loaded. Again, it's still out in the open. We put one shot in, hopefully finish him off. There we go. Can we get the next shot into the Tyran? Which we do. Perfect clip. Fantastic. Second kill of the game. 5.6k damage nearly. And we're just going to have to wait for our reload. Thankfully, the M48 and the Object 430 over in the corner at K23, although the M48 is dead now, have managed to shut down the couple of people that were attacking them along that K line. So that's pretty solid. Now we're nearly loaded. 10 seconds again. You can clearly see what I'm doing. I'm watching the map going, who is my next target? What am I looking for? Conway. Okay. He's attacking the two mediums. Let's go help them out and get rid of this Conway. New outline coming in clutch again. I can see exactly where the ridgeline is. I put one shot into his turret. The second one goes low and hits the floor, and he gets shut down by the TVP. We make sure that that shot is fully aimed, so we hit the lower plate of the Centurion 5-1, and we get our damage there. Again, we had to make sure that that was fully aimed, and that's where the aim time feels a little bit long, and that's why I say that the GLD might be a good option for a lot of people, because that aim time is pretty long, and that's what we're going to see in the next replay, because the next replay will be running the GLD, but it won't be running the patch kit or spore liner, because I feel like if you're going to be running the patch kit, you're going to be needing to reduce the amount of damage, the amount of potential of your crew getting killed, which is what the spore liner and the pain tolerance will do for you. So we get a shot there. Oh, that was a nice shot into the M103, though. We get a shot into the side of the IS-4M. We get a shot into the side of the M103. Then we get the kill on the M103A1. And we get our third kill of this game for 7.5k damage. There's only 2 tanks left. A medium tank, which is somewhere. Not 100% sure where. And the IS-4M. So my hope is that I'll be able to get in there to get this IS-4M. I want to give him a little bit of a ram. So that's what we're going to attempt. Because, well, we might not get the reloading. So let's get a ram in. If we can track him as well, that's some tracking assist. So we get the ram in. We track him. We pull back. Fire the gun. Finish off the IS-4M. And get our 4th kill of this game. Securing 7,600 damage. A little bit of assistance. The victory there with the 1535 base XP. Pretty nice game again for the T57 on Redshire. And again, sort of the derpiness of the gun. If you do not let this gun fully aim, it will miss. But the damage potential is there. If you get yourself in the right situation and you put yourself in the right spot, you will definitely do damage in this vehicle. It's one of those. But yeah, we finished that game with 200,000 silver as well. Again, it makes pretty damn good silver. If I was running silver boosters on this, we've been making a very good amount of silver, realistically. So we're on to the fourth and final replay of this video. And this 4th video is here on Azure Coast. This is the very first game I played in the tank. And so I got it set up with rapid aim instead of pain tolerance and a GLD instead of the spore liner. So this game is going to be what happens if I don't take the patch kit and I run something like the GLD so that I can have a faster aim time. Now, technically, that means that we should be ready to fire the gun faster when we're dropping the clip or when we're trying to get, again, target acquisition, because we can go, hey, we're loaded, we're aimed, we're ready to go really fast. So that's something that is a potential for the T57 with the GLD. You can see it does aim in faster. It's noticeably quicker. It is noticeably quicker with the GLD compared to not having the GLD. Naturally, as it's 2.17 down to a 1.94 second aim time. That is a big difference. But yeah. Oh! Oh! Oh, gun! The accuracy of the gun coming in right there as we don't hit the side of the STV-1. And the second shell hits the upper plate and ricochets because it hits an extreme angle. But the accuracy came into play there for the T57, and yup, that's the way it is. So I decided, okay, that first clip, we got 1 shot, sure. We got 1 shot into the light tank. But that wasn't very good. And clearly, distance doesn't do this tank very good. So instead, I'm going to close the distance and go and try and get these guys. That pesky FV107 I really want to get in. There we go, 1 in. Can we clip him out here? Trying to hopefully track him, which we do. 3rd shot out. Get out of here, little pest. As we secure our first kill of this game for 1,700 damage. Now, we're in a bit of an awkward spot, and I've realised I've put myself in a bit of an awkward spot. Yes, I've got closer, which means my gun derping will be a little bit less of an issue. But there's a lot of enemy team around here, as the spaceman ends up not doing any damage to us. Yeah, there's a lot of enemy team around here, and this is going to be a little bit awkward. So we're going to have to watch what the enemy team are doing and be very careful about where we poke out. So we find the TVP 50/51, finish him off. We've got 1 shot left. I saw a tank moving in the distance, so I'm trying to look to see if I can see it with the true vision. And I'm drawing a blank. I just cannot see the tank whatsoever. But a shot of 40C says hi. And it goes low. The shot at that range goes really low, does track damage only, and means we don't actually pen the SHAR 40T, which is really quite awkward. The STB-1 comes in and charges us, which I'm not quite sure why, because we've got lots of team here, which means that they are going to shut this guy down. Waiting on the reload. I'm trying to back up. Again, I'm going to try and angle my armor in towards him to make it as hard as possible for him to be able to pen us. He bounces off our upper plate. We're nearly loaded. I will be loaded, ready to kill this guy before he fires, so we go for it. Track and pen him, damage his ammo rack, and finish the guy off. We've got 1 shell left, which I want to try and use on a tank if I can, and we get it free aimed into the FV101. Glorious. We're up to 3.4k damage with the 3 kills, and we're just going to be waiting for the reload. Once again, we know the medium tank behind us is now dead. So again, I've got myself in that awkward situation where I'm watching what is going off everywhere. I'm seeing the 4005 is moving up. Kind of scared right now that 4005 is just going to come and end our day. This would be nice. Again, this is why I thought about running the patch kit, by the way. Because at this situation here, I was going, ooh, it'd be nice if I had the patch kit. For this whole reload, I could have been sitting still and getting HP back. That would have been quite nice. Hey, what shot me? Hello, Mr. Jagdpanzer 45. I see you at the back there. 1 in, 2 in. And again, that GLD feels pretty nice. Just, it aims in that little bit faster, and it is noticeable. It is quite nice to have the GLD, which is why, again, I say it's a possibility. Now, vents. Vents in the original setup that I showed in the garage bit. You could drop those for GLD to make this gun handling better. That's always a possibility, for 100% sure. But I feel like the reload is just something that, even with the little bit of extra you get out with vents, is something that is kind of nice for the tank to have. So the 4005 fires. We're going to take the opportunity to now go after this 4005, put 3 shots into the dude, putting us up to 6,095 damage, and get ourselves safe back round the corner. Now, he's going to reload before I will, but I'm trying to pull back towards where my team are, so if he does decide to attack me, hopefully they might have my back. I can hear you at the back of the room shouting, why are you trusting teammates? Because we have to. It's the way it is. If we don't trust our teammates sometimes, you know, it is what it is. So the 4000 gets shut down by the T95E3. So now we're nearly loaded. We can try and go after the Tyran 5SH or the TVP that's down on our left. So just waiting for the Tyran to drive into the right spot. We get detected and I think, okay, what is looking at me? Don't do it. I don't want it. But the Tyran ends up driving out sideways on. We track him in place, and it's time to just finish him off. We get 1 shot into his side there to shut him down for our 4th kill of this game. 1 vehicle left. It is Mr. TVP, and I go straight for the reload. You can see as soon as we drop below 30 seconds, instantly boost with food. Get ourselves away from the Shah 40T, who is trying to get shots into us. We see the TVP 50/51 is still on the beach. Take a hit from the Shah, which was really unfortunate. I'm just going to ignore the TVP because we may as well go after the Shah 40T, as he is still fairly healthy and is in a spot that if we were to go after the TVP, he could shoot us quite easily. So we may as well go try and get the shots into this Shah. He takes a hit, though, from the FV4005, putting him, well, just finishing him off, really, meaning there's 1 tank left. It's Mr. TVP 50/51. So we're going to try and get there and put at least 1 shot into him to finish off this game with aplomb. So you can see, again, we're just racing Mr. T95E3. I'm hoping he's come back this way. He's not run off towards our cap. And in fact, there he is. We get 1 shot in. He pens us. We get 2 shots in. Hopefully we'll get the shot before he reloads. In fact, we ram him. We finish him off with the ram for our 5th kill of this game with the 7.7k damage. The victory. 5 kills. The 1789 base XP. For 184,000 silver as well. Blocked a bit. Ace Tanker, the Sniper Medal, the High Caliber Medal. Really great game there for the 120mm Gun Tank T57, which, let's say, is the Regiment reward vehicle for 30,000 coins. If you do manage to get up to that point, you will get a pretty but well-balanced premium heavy tank in Era 1. But yeah, that's the 120mm Gun T57. It's a pretty well-balanced tank. It's not exceptional, but it's not bad. And it's a tank you can get for free just by playing with your regiment mates and building up the coins, or by playing by yourself in a regiment. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!